Mansfield ISD is the latest school district to discuss new school safety policies following the shootings in Florida and Texas earlier this year. Mansfield started with a committee of students, staff, parents, and community members to come up with recommendations. Tonight, those recommendations were presented to the school board. Fox 4's Allison Harris spoke with the district superintendent tonight. She's live in Mansfield. Allison.
Steve, the district superintendent spoke exclusively to us tonight. He told me that he feels confident in these suggestions and he's proud of Mansfield for seemingly being ahead of the curve on all of this. It was after the Parkland High School shooting on Valentine's Day that he felt inspired to go around to each of the campuses here and talk about security changes that could be made to make schools safer. He then led community meetings to get parent feedback and formed a public safety committee made up of students, parents, staff, and community members to evaluate the recommendations. Together, they have come up with 13 methods that they hope to implement as soon as possible. Those include armed police officers, which would be contracted out, stationed at each school. Right now, they're only at the middle and high schools. Pepper spray kept in lock boxes for staff, and security cameras and locking devices on school entrances, an emergency alert communication system to send alerts and also to report threats. And there are methods that wouldn't cost anything, like implementing an anti-bullying program, a student threat assessment program, and a safety advisory committee. Some of these plans mirror proposals that Governor Greg Abbott made last week to improve school safety statewide. Now, the total cost of all of this at Mansfield ISD would be almost $3 million. The superintendent says you cannot put a price on the safety of kids.
Honestly, my opinion, we've got to put an armed guard in every campus. It's too important. Everybody wants our kids safer, and this is what our community is recommending to the board, and it'll be my recommendation that the board accept the recommendation of the committee, so hopefully we will.
The board would have to vote to approve all of this in about 2 weeks' time. The goal is to have most of these changes in place by the beginning of the next school year. The superintendent was inspired to put law enforcement officers at each of the campuses after the most recent Santa Fe High School shooting. Of course, that one here in Texas. And now this committee and the superintendent hoping to put law enforcement officers at each campus for good.